Let's hear from Michael van Gerwen.
Either or, what's the score?
Michael van Gerwen. Mighty Mike.
Double top or double 16?
Double 16.
Double 1 or double 3?
Double 3.
You require 92. Treble 20 or ball?
Treble 20.
2 darts in hand. Treble double or double double?
Double double.
Legs or sets?
Legs.
Best of 11 or best of 21?
Best of 21.
Circus Tavern or Lakeside?
Circus Tavern.
Alexandra Palace or Winter Gardens?
Alexander Palace.
Premier League or World Series?
World Series.
Eric Bristow or Jockey Wilson?
Eric Bristow.
Bobby George or Wayne Martin?
Wayne Martin.
Phil Taylor or Michael van Gerwen?
Myself, of course.
Stand up if you love the dance or the very best of order?
Stand up if you love the darts.
World champion or world number 1?
Both.
Check or trophy?
Check.
You lost 3-2 in the first round on both your BDO and PDC World Championship debuts. Who to?
Gary Robson and Phil Taylor.
In which English town did you defeat Vincent van der Voort to win your first Players' Championship event in 2009?
I know that. Taunton.
The last time you lost in the first round of a televised major was at the 2011 Players' Championship final. Who beat you?
In the first round. Players' Championship finals. No, I ain't got a clue.
Gary Anderson.
Okay.
In what year did you defeat Mervyn King to win your first PDC major, the World Grand Prix?
Yeah. That was... this thing. Let me think. 2012?
What checkout did you hit to win the 2013
1-3-2.
Premier League final against Phil Taylor?
1-3-2.
And which darts?
Single ball, treble 19, double ball.
You hold the record for the highest 3-dart average achieved on television. What is it?
121.85?
Higher?
122.85.
123.4.
Oh.
What's the record amount of perfect darts that you have hit in a row in a televised match?
17, 22.
19.
No, it's more.
Are you sure?
If you look into the game against James Wade, there's 17 in one leg, but if you count the 4 or 5 darts before, in the previous leg, was also perfect darts, so I got you there.
All right, Mighty Mike, we'll give you that one. Michael van Gerwen, that's your lot, and here's what you got.
So just a little bit of controversy there with Michael. Actually, Paul was in here in the studio shouting some of the answers out as well, so wonderful stuff. Right there, the players are standing by. Here we go. Let's hand you to our MC, John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to magnificent Cardiff and the Unibet Champions League of Darts, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the players. Would you please welcome the former Auckland Darts Master and European champion and 2-time back-to-back champion of the world, Jackpot, Adrian. it's time to meet the current world #1. He is the reigning two-time champion of the world, mighty Michael
Given the standings, this is a very important match for Adrian Lewis and Michael van Gerwen. Their first competitive meeting back in November 2006 in the Netherlands. Your commentators for this one, Alan and Dan.
Well, what a way to round off the opening day of action this is. The world #1 Michael van Gerwen against the two-time world champion Adrian Lewis. MVG there, 12 titles this year. That is 50% of the tournaments he has entered. A phenomenal strike rate from Mighty Mike. But Adrian Lewis, I mean, these two, Alan, it's often they're called the most naturally talented players in the game, and we may well see over potentially the next 19 legs exactly why.
Yeah, and the pace of the game will suit them both, because there'll be no airs and graces up there. They'll just get straight into the rhythm. Both very fast players. Michael's probably the fastest, but there won't be any hanging about, I can assure you. And Adrian Lewis, in the first 80-85% of his game against Taylor, played fantastic, really. Just loosened off towards the end, that's why he lost. But Michael van Gerwen, it wasn't the defeat that was surprising, it was the scoreline.
Well, Michael van Gerwen is beatable. We know this, but to beat him earlier on, Raymond van Barneveld had to keep taking out big checkouts, 120, 130, 136. He doesn't give you many chances, but the ones he does give you, they're ones like that, and you can't afford to miss them.
Yeah, when you take them, that's when you get in a position like Raymond did, and then it gives you confidence as well for silly finishes like 56 or 60. Just seem that little bit easier. You know it's going to go in instead of hoping it's going to go in.
We'll go back a few years. It looked as if Adrian Lewis and Michael van Gerwen were going to be the two guys knocking lumps out of each other for the next few years and dominating. Michael van Gerwen has gone on and dominated. But if anything, Gary Anderson has looked the most likely to challenge him.
Yeah, certainly those two, without including Phil. Michael and Gary, certainly the best two players in the world overall. But they're all capable on the day, we know. They've all got titles. This group, everybody's won at least one world title.
He's short in the first leg, Michael van Gerwen.
So they know what's up for grabs.
Game on.
14 darter for Michael van Gerwen, breaks the throw, and Adrian Lewis, the advantage of winning the ball off back in the practice room, immediately wiped out.
I think it's a fair point as well that we've mentioned that Adrian hasn't played a lot of darts, played really well today, just slackened off a little bit towards the end, and then having to play another full octane game in the same day, very difficult to get back up for. He'll certainly give it a go.
Well, this is only the second tournament we've seen, Adi, in the last 3 months, really. That is with the packed calendar we've got nowadays, that is a significant sabbatical for Jackpot.
Yeah, he's practiced hard, but we all know that match practice makes such a difference. It really does. It's easy hitting the board, but when you've got an opponent, certainly of this standard of Michael van Gerwen, the best in the world, hitting you with everything apart from a sledgehammer, you know you're up against it. And he's angry. He's mad.
139.
You wouldn't like him when he's angry. Well, not if you're playing him. Thrills everything else.
59, Michael 126.
Down for the 19s. Treble would leave the ball. Treble 16 with the left tops.
54.
No drama yet. 72 isn't a gimme. Adrian for the 18s. Hasn't left a great finish. He's left the biggest.
Double top.
52.
Now this would be some way to get the motor running for Adrian Lewis. Another one of those. To leave the bullseye.
Aim charge in the second leg. Adrian Lewis.
Well, that's got the crowd going. It's got Adrian going. Hit a measly 58 to leave the 170. And Gerwen left 72. And we've seen the big one.
This is the problem with Michael van Gerwen. If you knock him down, if you hit him with something, he tends to hit back hard.
40.
He looks determined. He looks very determined. Lewis having to pull one out of the top drawer with the 170 to stay level.
81.
Well, what a leg of darts from Michael van Gerwen. Adrian Lewis hits the biggest check out of the lot. And Michael van Gerwen is on a 10 dart.
Michael requires 36. Aim charge in the third leg.
He'll be happy with the leg. He'll almost be disappointed he didn't get it with the first dart. He's relentless in his pursuit of winning legs, winning matches and winning titles.
And Michael van, a lot of players, they're not really that interested in averages, in stats. All they want is the win. Michael van Gerwen is not like that. He is the standard bearer for world darts, and he wants to go up there and entertain and break records and do things like this over and over and over again.
He looks mean, the green machine.
48.
After that disappointing afternoon, he looks well and truly on the mark at this moment in time. A long way to go though. Looking good.
Well, MVG knows this is a must-win game for him, because that result for Phil Taylor, if Lewis wins this, it's a straight shootout for a spot in the semis between him and Barney tomorrow. Oh, look at this. He'll come back and have a look at that.
Lewis can only fill this in. Hope he gets a shot. You see the disappointment in his face despite hitting a maximum, which is incredible, really. And that's because he knows Van Gerwen's on double 8. And Van Gerwen hits double 8.
Well, there you go, 11 darter, backed up with a 13 darter on throw. That means the last couple of legs, Adrian Lewis had to throw 12s if he was going to win them, and he's not really threatened to do that. One magical 170 checkout for Adrian Lewis, but Van Gerwen averaging 106 right now.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's looking very good.
80.
We mentioned Adrian Lewis not playing that much over the last 3 months, but Michael van Gerwen has had a month off, become a dad for the first time. The last couple of weekends, he's played on the Euro Tour and he's returned to action, and he's won both of them, dominated those tournaments. In fact, last weekend in Germany, he only dropped 6 legs in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I watched the final against Rob Cross, and Rob Cross hit him with everything early on, didn't he? But he just showed his class once he got in front, got over the finishing line. He just loves winning.
Yeah, just to underline his dominance, Michael van Gerwen only took him 63 minutes of playing time that weekend to win 5 matches. He was earning 48 quid per dart thrown.
Well, that's what I call a happy hour.
That's better from Adrian Lewis though. 18 for double top, cuts that gap to 1.
Well, what Adrian Lewis has got to be thinking here, he's been hit with everything from Van Gerwen. He's at 170 himself, but he's only one leg away. And we all know things can change so quickly in this game.
60.
Big finish, a missed double. Van Gerwen's scoring looks pretty good.
177.
Pretty good indeed.
Yeah, not bad that from MVG. He has had the better of their previous meetings, certainly the recent ones. There was a 7-0 whitewash in the Premier League earlier this year.
64.
Well, we've certainly had some mammoth encounters today, but certainly the story of the day has to be mentioned. Dan qualified for the semis after the 2 games he's played, beat 2 fantastic players and playing very, very well and looking good.
135.
No need to go treble 19 bullseye for Michael Van Gerwen, with Lewis fully, well, 260 points back almost.
60. Michael Van 32.
Double 16. Double 16, yeah. He knows he's on the money. He knows he's playing well. He knows he's scoring. He knows he's hitting the doubles.
100.
Such a big 3 or 4 months as well, Dan, isn't it? There's so many TV tournaments towards the end of the season. Rankings can change. Massive prize money, places for the Premier League.
82.
Santa's going to be giving out loads of presents.
Well, certainly, and look, Michael Van Gerwen, he's looking pretty safe at the top of the world rankings, let's be honest. But it's very different for Adrian Lewis, the world number 5, who will be defending a lot of money in the next 3 months.
59.
It is usually around about Christmas that Adrian Lewis is always gearing up for. It's usually when he comes good.
Yeah, he's got a knuckle down, hasn't he? We all know how good he is. We all know what he's achieved.
60.
But as I say, you're only as good as the game you're playing at the time.
Well, and you know the feeling. I mean, what's it like, the pressure, having to defend all that money, knowing that that's coming off your ranking and you'll slide down if you don't go and win games of darts?
It's definitely on your mind. I think he'll relax a little bit more once he gets through 1 or 2 rounds in the Worlds, depending on his draw and how he plays, and if he wins, obviously.
47. 120.
Because the practice you're having up until then, during the tournament, in the match, he'll almost be up to 100% level.
60.
But he needs to win them first couple of games, and they're very difficult, as you know, nowadays.
Certainly are. Double top for Adrian Lewis to keep pace. That's a great marker. And he uses it very well, Adrian Lewis. He is clinging on here. There is 15 points in the averages, but Lewis is still just clinging on by his fingernails, hanging on in this one.
Yeah, that's the mark of a very good player, isn't it, really? When you're getting hit with everything, you're so far behind on the averages, you're only 1 leg adrift.
Well, it kind of had that feel when Lewis played Taylor, didn't it? He hung on in the opening stages, then he found a bit of form and took the lead, and then, of course, we know what happened. The power rattled off 5 legs to win it 10-7.
Yeah, when you're behind, you just want to just keep hanging in there, because you know at some point you're going to start hitting everything, almost hoping that your opponent doesn't.
100.
And things can turn around pretty quickly. At the moment he's doing okay. Could go 2 legs behind again, which has been
64.
The sequence over the last few legs. He wanted that 170 there, didn't he? With Adrian hitting 1 in the second leg.
Yeah, something of a signature shot for 170 for Michael Van Gerwen. We've seen him taken out multiple times in big stage games. Can he take out the 114? Potentially. Of course he can.
Looking good for MVG. Adrian back in the same position again. Hold throw to get within 1.
60.
I feel if Van Gerwen can nick this one, it'll be an uphill task for Adrian.
140. 96.
Plenty of room in there. He's moved down for the ball and he's hit the ball. Well, he has got a 170, not a finish. And he hasn't left a finish, so it was a strange one. Still a good visit.
96.
Well, still well clear in this leg, and it could well be a 3-leg gap that MVG looks to open up here. Lewis, you would feel, cannot afford to go into the break 7-3 down.
100.
Well, that would be a mountain to climb, wouldn't it?
91.
Not just winning the legs, but against somebody who's playing so well. Tidy up with a big 20 to leave tops.
49.
We've seen some shots today. We're not going to see the 149, and that means that all Lewis can do is hope. He is praying that Van Gerwen doesn't punish him.
Taking his time.
But punish him he does. 6-3, another break. The world #1 in charge of this, throwing for a 7-3 lead at the interval. And that might be too much even for a 2-time world champion in Adrian.
Yeah, he's straight back in as well. He looks really determined, doesn't he? Scoring being pretty good. He hasn't messed about on the doubles. Adrian hasn't done that much wrong. He managed to stay within one leg, but couldn't get the break back. That's been the important statistic.
40.
Well, the finishing has been absolutely fantastic in this game. Elite level players, they're happy if they hit 50%. 60 and 75% is phenomenal. But the thing that will concern Adrian Lewis is he's only been allowed 4 darts at double in this game.
140.
Well, that's the key factor, really. His average being just in the late 80s.
140.
His scoring overall hasn't matched that of Van Gerwen. That's why he's only had 4 darts at the double. So fair to him, he's hit 3 of them.
And he may have to take out another massive one, and it's not going to happen on this visit. MVG, 82 needed for a 7-3 lead. This is a must-win game for Michael Van Gerwen. He loses it, he is knocked out of the tournament. It's a dead rubber against Taylor tomorrow. 17 for tops.
Tops! And tops hit by Van Gerwen. Well, it was close in the early part of the match, but Van Gerwen's really put the kettle on the stove. And he leads 7-3, 3 legs away from his first 2 points in this group. Lewis has a lot to do. Can he do it?
Well, we'll find out, Alan. 14 tournament wins for Van Gerwen this year. He would dearly love to be back in the final tomorrow night, beaten of course on that very stage last year by Phil Taylor. He is hanging on, and Adrian Lewis looks like he is going out of this year's tournament.
Could well be, but a bit of magic from Adrian Lewis in that second leg.
Because he knows what's at stake, Mark.
Yeah, he's up the ante big time. I think that second breaker throw is, I think we've broken AD's resilience now, and Michael will be looking at getting his leg average up now. He could, you know, get out of this game with a win and have a positive leg average.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the 170 checkout by Adrian Lewis, which is now the highest tournament checkout so far.
Indeed it is. It's eclipsed the 157 of Sulevic. And at the start of this match, Adrian Lewis just said, you know what, I'm going nowhere, and he showed no emotion. He just showed brilliance.
All right then, okay. Is there any hope for Adrian Lewis? We don't think so. Back to Dan and Alan.
Well, the vagaries of group stage format means that sometimes you can win 4 points and not make it out your group. Sometimes you can make it out your group with 2. We do know that if Adrian Lewis wins, Michael Van Gerwen is out. But all kinds of things could happen if MVG closes this out. If he closes out 10-3, he'll go second in the group.
Yeah, leg difference could be so crucial, couldn't it, tomorrow? Depending on how this one pans out. Obviously we've got Taylor MVG and Lewis to play Barney tomorrow. All will be revealed.
96.
All we know right now is that Mensur Suljovic is in the semi-finals, irrespective of what happens tomorrow.
41.
Yeah, he's played really well today. Big smile on his face when he wakes up in the morning.
Well, even a second 180 is not enough to bring a smile to Adrian Lewis's face right now, because he knows he needs plenty more of them.
58, Adrian, you require 80.
Yeah, you're almost in a difficult position mentally, aren't you, when you're so far behind? When you're playing a player of Michael van Gerwen's class and no doubt ability, you almost feel like you're not going to get that many chances. He's taken his first one. It's a good first leg there from Lewis after the break.
Yeah, well, 5 perfect darts to end that leg for Adrian Lewis, and even the greatest journeys begin with a single step.
60.
He has to almost put being 3 legs behind out of his mind. Very difficult to do when you see darts like this in front of you from Van Gerwen. As we mentioned, leg difference could be an issue tomorrow. So he's got to fight all the way through to the end of the match.
Van Gerwen has the luxury now where he knows all he needs to do is be very strong on his own throw when the game is his. If he can make it so awkward for Lewis to break him, just as he is doing in this leg, Lewis absolutely miles behind.
57.
And Jackpot does not stand a chance.
Yeah, when you get in that comfort zone, it's very hard to get out of.
133.
Well, you know what that means.
He's left his favourite.
But what does that leave, Wazza?
Ball!
61, Adrian, you require 170.
Oh, we're not going to see the 170 again. 25 for MVG. To go within 2 legs.
Do not adjust your volume.
60, Michael, you require 25.
Edging closer, MVG.
Well, he's still battling away.
43.
Tall order now, though. Slip from Van Gerwen.
82.
Retrieved it a little bit for the last one.
Adrian Lewis, of course, did play in last year's Champions League and failed to get out of the group.
It's not his favourite format, is he? He has had trouble for quite a few years in the Grand Slam. Just doesn't seem to be his favourite. I think he's one of those players that prefers the straight knockout, battle of wills, battle of mind on mind, and battle of scoring. He likes to keep it simple. Win, you're through. Lose, you're out.
59.
Frustration telling for Adrian Lewis. Van Gerwen senses victory is within his grasp.
100.
Bit of a lacklustre scoring from both players, really, in this leg.
100. Michael, 164.
Couple of treble 19s. Not to be, but Lewis on a ton plus himself. Van Gerwen may well come back to the board.
110.
Not a bad leave. From 164 leaves himself tops. Lewis can't hit the treble with the first 2 darts.
54. Michael, 40.
For another nail in the coffin. Little shuffle, looking to move in alongside that dart and unable to find it.
56.
Well, they won't be happy with that one. Both players throwing 18 darts, which is unusual at this standard. They'll take a 20, AD. 21 will be all right as well. Ooh,
36.
Not to be.
Michael, you require 10.
Lewis fading and fading fast. And Van Gerwen may be about to put him out of his misery because he is throwing for a 10-4 victory.
14th leg, Michael to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, both players scored pretty poorly on the whole in the leg and messed about on the double.
121.
Baffled by that one, the Green Machine. And even though he is in charge of this one, Michael Van Gerwen, this is still not the level of performance that we've come to expect from him. Last weekend, in 5 games, 2 of them were 111 averages.
94.
He is a guy more likely to average around that 110 plus mark than he is to be below 100, and for the second game running, Michael Van Gerwen looks set to be under that 100 average mark.
Well, he's certainly going to have to play better tomorrow against Phil Taylor.
96.
Certainly a well-anticipated a counter when we saw the group stages.
59.
He may have been itching to get another go at the power after a, well, sickening defeat at the World Match Play. What an effort from MVG. Perfection in the set-up shot. 174 leaves double 8 for a 10-4 victory.
96.
An annihilation of a 2-time world champion.
Double 8. Well, Michael Van Gerwen turns round to Adrian Lewis, congratulates him. He knows he's got his first 2 points on the board. The determined look from the Green Machine. He will be playing Phil Taylor tomorrow. So the groups will be, well, could go down to leg difference. But at the moment, Van Gerwen is still in the hunt for a semi-final place.
He certainly is, and it may come down to having to beat the greatest player of all time in Phil the Power Taylor. Adrian Lewis, a 170 checkout early on as he tried to live with the world #1 Michael Van Gerwen. But the Green Machine just too strong on the night. He is off and running in his Champions League of Darts campaign. Can he overcome the power tomorrow?
Yeah, well, Michael began in 2017 with a win in his second World Championship and then claimed the 3rd Premier League title in May before picking up that World Series of Darts wins in Shanghai and Las Vegas. And the crowd have really enjoyed his performance this evening. And that was very much the Michael Van Gerwen that we saw at this venue in the Champions League last year.
It's a little bit better, isn't it? I mean, the strange thing about Michael Van Gerwen is that he's been